It's June 2018. Uh, we're midway through June. It's Monday morning, and my name's Swagadelic. Hello. And I met God last year in 2017, August, about the same time, the middle of August. And God handed me the light of God. It's basically the knowledge that there is a God, uh, the way heaven works, the way hell works, there is a hell, the way Satan works, the way angels work, the way things work here on earth, the way all the galaxies and solar systems work. They are all the different heavens. Uh, Over about a 2 month period, God kept putting me to sleep uh, as He would give me information about God and the way things work. Because it was just too much information for my soul to handle. It took me a long time to soak in all the information that God was giving me. Uh, but basically, about 2 years ago, I caught on to something. I started praying out of my mouth, and my soul could hear it. And I started praying these words specifically. My soul is pure evil, and you did something to it to put it here so it wouldn't be. And I said it about a million times, and basically God appeared. God told me that He heard me the first time, but it took a million times for me to say it, for my soul to truly believe it and know it to be the truth. God said He usually meets people in one or two or maybe three. God said that night, it has been 30 million years since there's been such an awakening with the women. You see, I knew I was going to meet either God or an angel, because I kept hearing angels, and an angel kept appearing around me, and I kept seeing angels and stuff, but I couldn't quite communicate with them. I kept having a lot of spiritual experiences. Well, I went online that night, and I kept praying, and boom, it happened. And, well, God can go to the computer and the angels. Uh, God went to the computer on a site I always go to, have been going to for years, called Chatterbait.com. Uh, I've been knowing a lot of girls there, and some guys there too. A lot of everybody, is there. All the normal people in the world, I like to say. And, I got to know them, and God went to the computer, what do you know, that night, and they got to meet Him too. That night, last year, 2017, when God handed me the light of God. I love Him for it. I can't believe it. Uh, I look online of people who say they met God, and it's people that died and all these other things happened to them. But I'm looking for somebody who met God, particularly like I met Him, and God handed them the light of God. That's what I'm searching for. As another person like me, I'm searching too for all the women that were there that night. I only know one. I only asked to know one. My prayer was that night when I went online, that one person online could get to meet God or angel or whoever I was going to meet. I didn't know what was going to happen that night. And I met God in 2017 in August, and went online and brought God to a whole bunch of people online that are now awakening, He said. Everyone should be awake. In August, it'll be almost a year. I know I've had a lot of problems with it, from thinking I might be going crazy to knowing I'm not, to sleeping all the time because it was too much information on my brain, to everything. But I lived in South Florida, and one of the things God told me after He handed me the light was to move from where I was at. And He had a pretty good reason for it too. He told me Armageddon was here, and I would slowly die a horrible and painful death down south where I was at in Florida, because we get sneak attacked by North Korea. And he explained it all to me. God told me that years ago, well, when Saddam Hussein, we went in and killed him, basically knocked out all his communications real fast. He had to go live in a hole. And then we found him, and his people hung him and killed him. And he didn't want that to happen to him. And his daddy, before he died, didn't want that to happen to him. And his daddy made him promise, son, if it looks like America's coming in to do that to you, uh, fire all the nuclear missiles I bought from the Russians and fire all the chemical missiles we got from the Chinese. And that's what he's getting ready to do. His meeting with the president went just as Kim thought. The president told him basically, disarm, or we're coming in to take your regime away from you. So Kim went home. He planned to sneak attack us last year in September, God said. That's when the trumpets in the Bible were played. They've been being played. I've been playing them. Everybody's been playing them. Angels have been playing them, playing them, playing them. But those 7 were played last year. And it kind of goes down like this. Kim built 2 palaces on the back door of Russia, a little one and a big one, underground. He's got everything and more that he has in his palace over there in his city in North Korea, and he's got 2 of them. He's got all his loved ones there already, and he's got the elite evil that he talks to and communicates with there too. So he's not losing anything. He's gaining over there. And he's never going to show face for the rest of his life and come out of hiding. He's going to hide over there in the back door to Russia and live his life merrily. And he thinks all this is funny. God told me Kim Jong-un is the most evilest soul here right now. And he told me why. You have to do your sins and think they're funny. And that's why Kim Jong-un is always laughing, God said. It's not the president's fault. God said the president's a really good man. It's evil. When you become evil, you hear what you want to hear, and you want to be evil. And nuclear missiles are evil. Chemical missiles are evil. God said Kim's got over 100 of them, not 65 like we think, and we don't know. Well, we find out real soon. He fires over 100 of them all over the world at us and our allies. God told me he's counting on the president to lay waste to North Korea and his palace and his other cities, that he's got truck launchers with missiles on them with nothing in them but propellant to propel them and stay up in the air as long as they can, as what he's got in him to fire along with the real missile. And he's going to fire thousands of them from each city at a time, up with like 10, 15 nuclear missiles at a time with thousands of dummy missiles. And he's going to reload and do it again, God said. God told me everything. Armageddon's here. He told me to move. I've moved. I've been settled into my new environment for a while. And I have the light of God. And I'm going to start teaching the light of God to people. I'm trying to open up a church to help people when the war comes. And I'm trying to collect things that can help people when the war comes. God said that the reason why wars always happen and the reason why there's evil here is because we're all his children, and he mixes the same amount of love and light in each one of us and sends us here to make our decision to be evil or to be love and light. And he can't just go around killing his children that are being bad and being evil, or his other children that are being good. It wouldn't be fair. And he said the reason why wars break out like this is love and light doesn't just go around killing evil. That evil goes around killing love and light and building. And he hasn't been checked in so many years. It builds up and builds up and builds up and builds up. He said evil begots evil. So it's just getting worse and worse over there, and it's pure evil. God said you simply have to go online and look at a satellite photo of North Korea at night, and where there could be light, and there's none, there's evil all in the land. So when North Korea sneaks attack us, I figure I'm going to try and help as much as I can, people as much as I can. God told me that when I asked him why he couldn't just put a lightning bolt up the leader of North Korea's ass and be done with him, his answer to me was, son, there are angels in heaven right now that were eviler than Kim Jong-un and turned from the darkness to the light of God, and are really awesome angels in heaven right now. So that was enough for me to dedicate my life to turning people from the darkness to the light of God. I moved. I'm trying to get other people to move out the cities. Because God told me, when your soul hits a nuclear bomb, blows up, your soul is frozen when it's in the blast for 1,000 years, as God told me. And God told me, tell everyone, the rapture happens 24 hours a day. When one soul dies, they're raptured to hell or to heaven. This just happens to be a big rapture. It happens during a lot of wars, big raptures. But this rapture, so many people die at one time, is why the pit of shit, hell, has to be opened up. He said the way it'll go down is, after the nuclear bombs land, and it all happens in an hour, when the dust settles, wherever your soul was at, if it got frozen in a nuclear bomb, angels will then come in and collect your souls. Angels will not be anywhere around a nuclear missile. God told me an angel's soul can be frozen in the bomb blast of a nuclear missile too for 1,000 years. And the angel has to be escorted back up to heaven. Well, when the pit opens, the angels won't be around the nuclear bombs. When the bombs blow up that night or day, depending upon what part of the world you're in, after they're done, after that hour and the dust settles, the angels will come in and collect all the souls, and they'll move them to hell, or they'll bring them up to heaven. When the pit of shit opens up, that's the fifth trumpet. After the dust settles, angels will collect your souls one at a time. For every soul that dies in a bomb blast, there'll be an angel that picks your soul up gently and respectfully, lovingly, regardless if it's going to heaven or to hell, and takes care of it and treats it with the respect and dignity every soul here on earth deserves. Because we are, like God told me, his children, God's ourselves, and angels, and he treats all his children with dignity and respect. He does not see no difference in his children in hell, on earth, in heaven. God loves all. The way God explained it to me is, evil is always begging for the light. Every time God hands evil the light, evil droppeth the light. Because evil only wants to do evil with the light. And God doesn't even see evil as evil. God sees evil as the light. God told me when this country, America, was founded, they threw a great big party in heaven. He said they do that every time a spot on earth gets it right and founds their country in a brick of stone and rock, in the name of God and freedom for all. God said that when war starts and America gets laid waste to, a third of it, and other parts of the world too, that America will help each other. We will go to each other's aid because we are founded on love and light. China, all these other countries will murder each other because they're not founded on love and light. He said China will start murdering each other, and other parts of the world will turn against each other and murder each other. Armageddon's here, folks. We get sneak attacked by North Korea. And then when the Muslim United Kingdom world sees we have our balls cut off, that's their chance that they've been waiting for. Because once again, you only have to aim a satellite photo, and where there could be light and there's none, there's evil in the land. And you can look all over the Muslim world and plainly see that. All the money they get, they spend in arms too. So we will lay waste to North Korea and solve that problem. We'll find out Kim's still alive at the border of Russia. We won't shoot no more nuclear missiles because the fallout from the missiles that we lay waste to North Korea with is enough to contaminate China and Russia both. We will go in with an army, and we will take the rest of our army and go in the Muslim world and stomp out evil and basically mop up the world. It will become a one world order after the war. God said the war lasts a good 10 years, and the first 5 are the worst you've ever seen. God told me, take it all together, and this is what's coming up, folks. Armageddon, the war of all wars. 200 million will march the following year. God said we live and die by seasons. And the following year, there will be no food to feed the world. And with the water poisoned and the sun blocked out, that's when the world will march on each other just for food. Neighbor will kill neighbor in other countries. Here in America, every front yard that's left will have a garden in it. All the cities that were reliant on 18-wheelers to bring food and water in, even though they haven't gotten bombed, the people, most of them, will have to move out the cities. The cities that got bombed, if you're lucky enough to live, and the bomb blew up, and you're 10, 20 miles from the blast zone, but there's still radiation poisoning, and you have to leave your home. You'll have to leave your home and get on the interstate and start walking. God told me that people will be walking aimlessly, hopelessly, blindlessly down the interstate, hope at all. And, well, that's where I come in. I'm going to help out as much as I can. I'm going to build me a little church here, and I'm collecting now anything that I can have to help people with. You know, it's just me, and I can't get anybody to believe me that Armageddon's here. But I have God, and I don't really need anyone else to believe me. God's on my side. God's on America's side. We do win the war, God said. Love and light never has to worry about evil ever overtaking the world. Throughout time, throughout history, throughout eternity, evil has tried time and time again to murder, rape, and kill and stomp out love and light. And love and light has always won the day and always won the night. And he said, the way you could see that is the planet's still here. If the planet wasn't here, you'd know you wasn't here, and it would be pure darkness. So love and light always rules the day and always use the night. God told me that we use the stars, the suns in heaven as lights to see in the darkness, and we live in and around the planets. God told me that we die from here. We're just babies. And if we go to heaven, we're escorted to him, and we play on him like a big mountain planet of love and light. And him and the angels teach us from there, and we grow up from there. There is time in heaven. So when you get there, in about 18 million years, 20 million years, you graduate, God said, when you can walk all the way around the kingdom of heaven by yourself one time. Then you're a graduate, and you can go in the kingdom of heaven and do whatever you want. You can come back. God told me angels do whatever they want in heaven. That's just how he is. Our dad is so cool. He did all of this for us, so we could not be dark, evil souls that try and devour each other out in the darkness. God actually give us a conscience. God said that we just try to devour each other all the time out in the darkness. And there's no way to devour and murder and rape and kill a soul, because it lives for eternity. So we just do it to each other and do it to each other over and over again. And the sins are basically that what we did out in the darkness to each other, to purge ourselves of it, to have love and light in us and go to heaven. God says, in order to make light, you have to be light. So you have to be love and light to go to heaven, to make stars. So Satan shrivels you up to small as an atom and throws you in the pool at the center of the earth. And you spin at the same speed as the earth. You generate the heat for this planet and the magnetic field, which is heaven's gate. Is what God told me. I don't know what God told you. I only know what God told me to do. But I've been searching online for someone that met God like me, and God handed them the light of God and told them to move out the city that Armageddon was here. Swagadelic. I tell you what, I don't want to see Armageddon come, but every day past April, the end of April 2018, I look around the planet and I love breathing the air with no radiation and contaminant. I treasure every single day times 1,000. So I'm soaking up all the beauty of God's planet before evil puts radiation poison all over it for 1,000 years. We do ban nuclear missiles after the war and nuclear power plants. God said it's not the end, it's the beginning of heaven on earth. Soon thereafter, in the future, computer science and nuclear science mesh together, and we do invent nuclear machines that run, and the byproduct is not nuclear waste or a nuclear missile. And we build them to start cleaning up the nuclear radiation. And in 1,000 years, as it says in the Bible, so shall it be on earth. It will be heaven on earth, because every part of the soil and the sea and the sky and the air will be purified. And we will not turn the machines off at that point. Swagadelic, beaming out. Armageddon's here, baby. Whole heaven dear.